Hi there! Today we have a fun app to build and we call it Catch Me If You Can. So you have this little mosquito here. When you click start, the mosquito randomly jumps all around the screen. You need to tap it and it will make sound and increase your score. And you can make it faster or slower. You can choose any background or any creature you want to catch, and let's do it. So let's start. Go to your project, start a new project, give it a name like Catch Me, and let's see, the screen, let's make it center and center. We will need a background, so you can go anywhere you want, find any background you want. We will also need a mosquito, for example, or whatever you want. It can be a cat, a snake, a spaceship, airplane, whatever. So pngwing.com is a great place to find PNG images without background. Here I found my mosquito. Again, to download, you click on it, go down, download this PNG. It will ask you to write the code. So you click on this, click alphabets in order, and you follow this order. So we start with this strudel, 4, then Y, then K, and it downloads. Keep it in one folder, give it a good name, and let's move on. So we have the background, we have the creature, and we need a sound. So you can go to Pixabay, sound effects, and I look for splat. Splat is when you squash a mosquito or something. So again, we have some strange one, too long, we want a short, something like this. That's good. Yeah, too long. Not so nice. So whatever you like. Okay, again, download here. Click on download and it goes down to your computer. So back to App Inventor. We will start with drawing an animation. Draw a canvas. Now this canvas, we want it to fill the screen, so fill parent for the height, okay, and fill parent for the width, okay. It's full. Let's have a label on top here and say Catch Me If You Can. Okay, let's make it bold, 20 pixels. Yeah, that's okay. By the way, the screen, I don't want the top screen here, so title, uncheck the visible. Okay, so we don't see it. Catch Me If You Can. We have the canvas. Now we need to add image sprite. So drop it in, and for the image sprite, let's call it mosquito. Okay, now we go and picture here, upload file, browse, and here I have my mosquito. upload, okay, and it's very big. We don't need it that big, so we resize it. Let's say 50 pixels on 50 pixels. Hello, where is it? It went out. So let's make it 20. There it is. Okay, so it's too small. Height, yeah, 50 I think was okay. Yeah, 50 is good. 50 on 50, perfect. We don't want it to be too big, so it will not be too easy to catch it. For the canvas, we want the background, so go down here, background image, upload file, browse, and I have this background. Again, you can choose whatever you like. Click OK, and wait. There it is. Okay, so we have a background, we have our mosquito. What we need else? We need a button. So take a button, drag it below the canvas. Let's call it start. Give it a color, let's say orange or whatever you like. Let's make it oval today. Okay. Let's make it a little bit bigger. 20 pixels, bold. And it's not start, it's start. Yeah. We also need a label for the score. So we take a label, drop it below the button, and we will call it score : 0. Okay, again, let's make it bold, 20. You can use whatever colors you want, and that's it. Okay, so we will also need a sound effect. So go to media, sound, drop it on the screen, it will pop down here. Our sound effect source is whatever you download from the website. So I have Buzzzapper or Funny Yay. Let's go for Funny Yay and then maybe change it. Open, okay, done. We will also need a timer. So timers is in sensors. We call it clock. Drag the clock, and the clock will be our timer. Let's call it timer. Okay, and this will make the mosquito change place according to this timer. So let's make it not enable, untick enabled, so we will call it when we need it. And instead of 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, we're going to make it 500. So it's half a second. You can make it even a smaller number, like 400, 300, so it will move faster on the screen. And now let's do some coding. Block. So let's start with the button. Okay, so when button click, that means when we want to start the game. So we will take, let's go to the timer. Set, let's choose the first one. Set timer, time enabled, and we want it to be true. So logic true. So when I click the button, the timer will start to work. Another thing we want is for the score to have a variable. So go to variable and initialize global, let's call it score, and we set it to 0. So from the math, take 0. This will reset the variable. And just to make sure that every time we start the game again, we want to reset this variable. So set global score, this is our variable, to 0. Right click, duplicate. So this is when we start the app, and this one every time we start a new game. It will reset the variable. And now we want it to move. So let's go to the timer, and when timer, let's call the sprite, call mosquito move to. So when the timer starts, so we click start, the timer start to run, and when the timer run, the image of the mosquito will start to move. We want it to move randomly on the X and Y axis. So go to math, look for random, there it is, random. So it will give any number between 1 and let's make it 300 for the X axis, and duplicate for the Y axis. Okay, now actually we can make it even 400 because the Y axis is bigger. Now when we go to the image sprite again, so when the mosquito or whatever you have there is touched, we want to change the score. So variable set global score to, we want to add 1. So go to math, plus, okay, and here we want get the global score, whatever the score is right now. Right click, duplicate, and add 1. Okay, so when I touch the mosquito, it will add 1 to the score. We also want the sound effect when we touch it, so call sound 1 and play. And we want to update the label, so go to label, set label, text, okay, set the label text to, here we want 2 things, so click on join, text join, and the first one we want to say score, okay, so score, colons, and space, and the second one we want this recent variable. So when we touch a mosquito, it will add 1, make the sound, and update the label at the bottom of the screen. So let's test it and see if it works for now. We are not really done, but let's see if it works. So AI Companion, scan it with your app, and there it is. So now I'm gonna click start. I'm on my phone, yeah? Start, and the mosquito start to move. I hit it. Yay! And I can see that the score down here doesn't go up. Oh wait, the score here go up. Ah, you see, we made a mistake. And this is why we test things. So let's go back and fix it. So yeah, that's it. You see, we have 2 labels. This is when you don't make everything organized. This label, label 1, is the title. Let's rename it to title. Okay, and this label is the score, so let's change it to score. Now when we go to the blocks, we can see that set title to text. No, set score to text. The title stays the same, we don't change it. Okay, so let's go back to the app. Again, it's updated automatically. Start again, it's moving, and there you go. The score down here is updating and nothing changed there. Let's get rid of this mosquito. I think I make it too small, very hard to catch it. Okay, got it. So it's working. Yippee-ki-yay. Now let's add a timer to the game. So the whole game takes whatever you want. Let's make it 30 seconds. So we have to go back to the designer and add another timer. So clock, drop it here, and again we have timer and clock, which is also a timer. So let's change the name to game timer. Okay, so we know it's for the whole game. We're going to leave this for 1000 milliseconds. That's okay. And let's uncheck it. So only when we start the game, it will start to count. Now we want to see the timer. So let's go to user interface and take another label. Put it up here and let's, sorry, not here. Time left. It will count down. Okay, so let's make it like this. Bold 20. Let's make it magenta. And then now let's go to the blocks and deal with it. Okay, so first we need to add another variable. So initialize global variable. This one we call it game timer. Okay, and we also make it 0. Let's move this. Now when we click the button, we want also the game timer to be enabled. Okay, so both of them, the moving mosquito and the whole game timer, start at the same time. And we also want the game timer to start, but not with 0, but with 30, so it will count down. Okay? Nice, let's make it nice and straight. Yes. Now, let's go to this timer. It's down here. Game timer. When game timer, let's put it here. Okay, so when we start, the first thing we want is, where is it? To show on the screen. So set game timer, and no, we already enabled it. And we want to set the label, title label 1. Oh, we did it again. Go to label 1, change it to game timer. Okay, so we will not make mistakes again. So game timer, we want to set the game timer text to text. Again, we will need two things. So one is text that says time left colon space, and now we want the variable that tells us the global game timer. So it will say time left and tell us how much time left according to the timer. And now we have to tell him to set the game timer to, again, maths with minus because we count down. So we want the game timer, whatever it is, minus 1. Okay, so it will show us that the time is going down. Minus 1. Now we wanted to stop the game when the time is up. So we are going to use an if condition. If then. Okay, so if the game timer is, we did maths again, and we're going to take this with the condition. So we're going to put it here, and not this one. We want the get game timer, and here we want 0. So if it's smaller or equal to 0, we want. So now we want to go to the label, let's say the game timer label, okay, and set game timer label text to game over. And we also want to stop the timers because the game is over. So duplicate this. So the timer, this is actually the mosquito timer, will stop. So the mosquito will stop moving. And the game timer also change to false. Okay? So when the timer runs, it will show how much time left, lower the count every second, and if the counting is 0 or less than 0, it will write game over and turn off both timers. So let's try it again. When we wait too long time, it disconnects by itself. So let's connect again with the app, scan it, there it is, put it here, waiting, and there it is, nothing happening. Let's click on start, and there you go, we can see the timer. We cannot see the timer. We can see the timer is counting down. When I hit the mosquito, wow, it's hard. I cannot catch it. Got it. Okay, so game over when the time is up. I got 2 points. I'm really good at this game. And now let's see what happened when we click start. I click on the phone, start, and I can see the timer start again, but the score is still 2. When I click on the mosquito, it's actually reset the score to 1 again. Okay, so it reset only when I click again. We can fix this if we just copy this, duplicate, and put it here. Okay, so because when the game starts, it doesn't go to the label, the score label. So it only changes when we touch the mosquito. If you put it here, it should work. So, okay, we are still connected. Let's test it. Start. Boom, 0. See? And now let's try to catch this mosquito. Got it. Okay, I think my mosquito is too small, or I'm too slow. Yeah, I'm too slow. Anyway, you get the idea. And the time, game over, boom, everything is working. I hope you enjoy it, and I would love to see your work. Ta-ta!